Hello and welcome to the Underdog Racing League premiere here live on V-Speed. Thank you for joining us tonight for the Where Bourbon Is 150 here from Kentucky Speedway. Looking forward to a great event tonight, and should be a lot of fun. Great racing action here in the Underdog Racing League. We're going to introduce you to the drivers as the race gets going here tonight. I myself am not too familiar with everyone in here. I do recognize some names. We'll get to know these guys over the next few broadcasts, and we'll be bringing you the action from this league for about the next 2 months. So if you enjoy what you see here tonight, we encourage you to come back and tune in to the broadcast again in the future. And a little bit of race information, a new graphic we've got for the broadcast tonight. The Where Bourbon Is 150. Kentucky Speedway, like I mentioned. It's 100 laps tonight, 150 miles. And this is race 7 of 13 for this series this season. So we're jumping in here right in the middle of it to bring you the last few races that they have before they wrap up their season. So very thankful that these guys let us come on board, and hope you enjoy tonight's show. And practice is just wrapping up here. We've got a few new camera angles to make this pretty interesting. As we see Mike Aiello Jr. in the number 74 there. He was on the track, and driver's going to head to the qualifying session. We'll see who gets on track first, and we'll jump on board with them as we bring up the qualifying ticker. Here's a name that I recognize, Mr. Dennis Steele, out on the racetrack here tonight. A name that we're familiar with over in the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series on Thursday nights. You'll see him out there on track tomorrow, but he is here tonight as well. Good to see Dennis on track. We'll see how he does in the qualifying session. Brett Sommers, who introduced us to this league, also from the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series, he is out here. We'll see what he can do in that throwback X-Side machine as they enter the qualifying session. Number 48, Parker Johnston, out here on track. And just a 5-minute qualifying session. We'll see how the drivers get going here and where they line up for the race. Trevor Earhart is here in the number 97 machine. David Buell, the number 52, showing as the number 20 on track. We'll see if we can update that in just a few moments. Nick Alves, we saw his name around over the last couple of days. He's out here in the number 81 machine, as right now fastest time is Caedmon Moore, the number 84, 29:26. He gets topped up actually by Mike Aiello Jr. in the 29:26. Caedmon Moore actually ran a 3:47, now runs a 3:03. Still not quite good enough to capture that lead position away. Douglas Wolcott, or Wolcott, I'm not exactly sure what's the correct pronunciation. We've got a town nearby called Wolcott, spelled exactly the same way, so I'll have to clarify that with him. But he is second fastest, just 17/1000ths off the pole time. See if anybody else out here still up to speed. Dylan Walterman, the number 9, looks like a Casey Kane throwback, as he puts that car into the 5th position on the grid. Let's see who else is out here. Looks like James Loveland, Sean Huffstutler, and looks like the number 56 is going to go to the top. That is James Loveland. It's 56. He runs a 29:205. That is 54/1000ths faster than Mike Aiello Jr. And we'll see if he can top that lap time coming around here. This time, see if he does better than a 2:05. He will not improve. Runs a 2:16, so almost exactly the same lap time. Sean Huffstutler in the 94 McDonald's throwback. I believe that was Bill Elliott's scheme back in the day. And these guys do run a few themed races throughout the year, and I know we've got a couple of them coming up. Next week is going to be a football paint scheme themed night at Michigan. So that should be a fun one. A lot of good paint schemes already being thrown around for that. And we'll see if this 94 can improve his lap time. See if he can get up there onto the front row. Right now, third fastest. And only one driver yet to qualify. That is Brad Allison in the 03. As it looks like Sean unable to improve. He will stay right there in the third position unless the 03 gets on track right now. I don't think he's getting a lap time in. So 22 out of 23 drivers taking a qualifying lap. Welcome, Blazer Pete. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Just 30 seconds remaining before we head to the starting grid for the first broadcast race of the Underdog Racing League here on V-Speed. My name is Adam Baker. I will be your commentator tonight and bring you along for the ride. Good qualifying session so far, and good to see almost everybody taking a lap here at Kentucky. Should be a fun race. One of the most difficult mile and a half. And a 100-lap race, so not too long of an event. So these guys are going to have to move quickly, and the starting positions are definitely going to help them out. So let's take a look at where the drivers are lining up for tonight's race. Starting on the pole, it's going to be the number 56 machine of James Loveland with a 29.205. Great lap time there. Congrats to James for starting on the pole tonight. Mike Aiello Jr. going to be rolling off on the front row as well from that second position. Great lap time by him as well, just a little bit short of the pole time. Sean Huffstutler going to be rolling off in the third position. Douglas Wolcott rolling off in fourth position. Alan Barganclass going to be starting in fifth here tonight. Rolling off in sixth, it's Kevin Orlando Jr. Starting seventh, it'll be Dylan Walterman in the 02 machine. Cademan Moore rolling off in the 8th spot at number 84 car. Nick Alva is going to be starting in the 9th position in number 81, and Trevor Earhart going to be rolling off from the 10th position. In 11th, it'll be Nathan Morris. Starting in 12th, it will be Jake Johnson. Starting in 13th, we've got Parker Johnston. Rolling off 14th, Mr. Dennis Steele. Starting 15th, it's going to be Christopher Heights. And starting 16th, it's going to be Ian Baker. Starting 17th, it'll be Jake Williams. Starting 18th, David Buell. 19th is Matt James. And rounding out the top 20 is Brett Sommers. Starting 21st, it'll be Scott Kerberg. Starting 22nd, Justin Stunard. And rolling off 23rd, rounding out the field, not taking a lap time, Mr. Brad Allison, the 03 machine, as the driver is rolling out onto the racetrack behind the pace car. We're about to get things underway. And if you're just joining us here tonight, cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know who you're rooting for. And as always, we'll try and highlight them throughout the broadcast and see how they progress, see how their races are going. So cheer on your driver. Let us know you're out there, as we are about to get underway for the Underdog Racing League. So excited to bring you some new names, new faces. Let's hope we get a good show here tonight from the Kentucky Speedway. From the front, it'll be James Loveland in control of this start. Right alongside him, Mike Aiello Jr., the number 74 machine, waiting. Green flag in the air, and we are underway from Kentucky for the Where Bourbon Is 150. And he gets out to a great leap there. James Loveland, that 56, he's going to clear the 74 of Aiello, and now Sean Huffstutler going to drop into second. That number 94 machine, he already moves forward, and here comes the 17 of Bargain Quest, going to go to the inside of Aiello. And he's going to look to the inside for second now, but not going to have the speed. Here comes the 74 back on the outside for second. As we complete lap number 1, we'll bring up our ticker. You can follow along with your favorite drivers. We've got someone cheering on Caveman Moore. Caveman rides in that 9th position as things getting hot and heavy already up here in the top 5. We've got a battle nearly 3 wide. That's the 9 of Douglas Wolcott. The 17 of Bargain Quest way up high. He's going to go to that 3rd groove, and it is not going to work out for him just now. He gets passed up by the 9, and the 94 nearly brushing the wall. And it looks like the 27 machine of Kevin Orlando, he's moving forward very quickly. He moves up into the top 5. We got a car brushing the wall, and the 27 goes around up on top of the 17. Yellow flag flies, and there's, I believe that's the 21 as well, piling into it. Christopher Heights, big damage on that race car, as we are already under caution number 1. Let's go take a look at what happened there. It looked like the 17 got a little bit loose possibly, or just brushed the wall up there alongside the 27. That was Bargain Quest up on the outside. 27 right there in the middle lane. 17 brushes the wall, comes down, tags the 27 up through the air, flying, and rides on top of Bargain Quest. Orlando Jr., though, he's going to have some serious damage. Christopher Heights, nowhere to go. Let's go to the in-car cam. You can see it all happening. He tried to squeeze to the outside. 27, though, still spinning out, and Heights gets into him. That Red Bull number 21. So multiple cars heavily damaged after that incident. And probably going to be out of this event. We'll see if the drivers bring it down pit road. Looks like just the damaged cars. And then Justin Stunard, the 33 machine, he'll bring it down as well. Oh, and we had the intro track playing the whole time. Apologize for that. So at the front, it is Mike Aiello Jr., the 74, has taken the top spot away. Loveland led those first couple of laps, and it looks like the 74 got back around on the outside while all that craziness was happening behind them. As we work under caution here, we do have some cool camera angles that we're going to try out tonight, so should be pretty interesting. We've got basically a crank it up cam, so we might try a little crank it up later on. As pace car making its way around, we want to thank some of our sponsors. NASCAR Brawl, the Brawl Network, Drops. You can check all those out at the links below on the channel here. And also, if you want to learn more about V-Speed, check us out at all of these different social media outlets. Facebook.com/VSpeedSim, where we'll make race announcements before each and every broadcast. Those same announcements you can find on Twitter at VSpeedSim. And also you can find us on Instagram, VSpeedSim, over there as well. Race replays will be uploaded to YouTube at VSpeed, so you can find us on YouTube, subscribe over there, and get notified when a replay goes up, so you can catch the whole broadcast at once, skip to your favorite parts, and check out some of the other interesting content we have over there. But working under caution number 1, they are going to be going green this time, and it's the same cars on the front row, just flip-flopped positions. That's Aiello Jr. and Loveland, the 56 and the 74. And then row 2, Sean Huffstetler and Douglas Wolkett, the number 9 machine. So we'll see if we can get a little longer run here to kick things off. A very brutal crash for a couple cars there. Going to take them out of contention, and it looks like Brad Allison did not start the race, so we'll see if he jumps in here later on, but currently the only car off the lead lap. All those other cars still on the lead lap. Green flag back in the air. 74 gets going, and we are underway once again. Great restart. He is gone already, half a second up the road from these drivers battling for the second position. That's the 56 of Loveland working the middle groove. He'll clear the 94 of Huffstetler, and the 9 falls into line. Almost gets turned by Cademan Moore, the 84 machine, who's now going to get passed up by Dylan Walterman, who's climbed through the field here early on. That 9 car up into the top 5, and behind him, Ian Baker and the 88 Valvoline machine. Making some moves already as they continue to battle it out. That 9 car rolling the low line. He goes to the inside. There's contact with the 9. The 9 and the 09, I believe. Douglas Wolkett. And trying to catch the other cars involved, and the 14 of Kerberg is... he's on the pit road already. Where is that other machine? We'll go back and take a look at that replay. It looked like the 9 got turned. Let's go take a look. So that was Walterman. He catches the 9 machine, slams that inside wall, and then gets tagged by the 14, who slams the inside as well. And it looked like the 33 of Stunard, he got a piece of that. Let's go take a look. Yeah, just clips the 9 and clips the outside wall. Man, that 14 of Kerberg, that car is absolutely destroyed. Let's go take a look from this perspective. Oh, just could not avoid it. And how about that other race car? I can't tell. Is that Nick Alves? And he's got some heavy damage. Not sure if he had that before, but he... yes, he did. But just barely avoided 14 hitting the wall. So already 2 pretty brutal accidents just 10 laps in. Taking drivers out of contention as we work under caution number 2. We're going to go to a quick commercial break from one of our sponsors, and we will be right back.
Introducing the Brawl Network. The Brawl Network brings your favorite team's news and opinions in an unfiltered, educated, and entertaining way. Enough of the mainstream media's bias, filtered, reiterative news. Our reporters are fans of the teams they cover, as opposed to most major reporters. While some may feel it is good to get unbiased takes, it results in negative bias, passionless articles, and boring podcasts and radio. The Brawl Network changes the game by reporting the same news as the mainstream media, but with passion, in-depth knowledge of the teams, and in an entertaining way. We use our connections to bring you behind-the-scenes information and perspectives daily. Brawl is a way of life here. For our listeners and contributors, we hear all opinions, voices, ideas, thoughts, and hot takes. The Brawl Network is where your voice is heard, and you can hear your voice. Also check out NASCAR Brawl, the newest Brawl podcast focusing on all the newest NASCAR and motorsports news from across the industry. We're proud to bring you the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series sponsored by this podcast and partnered with V-Speed. Watch weekly on Wednesdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Twitch at V-Speed Sin. Check out the Brawl Network at thebrawlnetwork.com and on Twitter at Network Brawl, and the NASCAR Brawl podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify with new episodes coming soon.
As the field getting double filed once again, we want to thank our sponsor NASCAR Brawl and the Brawl Network. Check those guys out where you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It's available on either of those platforms, and some great NASCAR related content and any sports you could really want from the Brawl Network. They cover most major sports and have individual podcasts for most of the teams. So see if there's a podcast about your favorite team, and go support those guys. As we are about to get back underway, pace car makes a hard left onto pit road, and green flag in the air. The 74 machine, once again, a great restart. This time the 56 gets going a little bit better, but Loveland's still many car lengths back, so they're going to have to work on these restarts. That 74 is great at getting going here tonight at Kentucky. And let's not forget, we're only 12 laps into this thing as the drivers make their way down the back stretch. Let's see if we can get another green flag run in here. The 94 Huffstutler gets bumped out of the way. The 88 looks to the inside. Here comes the 84, going to look to the outside and 3 wide, nearly down the front straightaway. 84 doesn't have the momentum to get there. 94 hangs on to third as they dive into turn number 1. The 84, Cademan Moore, the only driver on the outside line at the moment as he races it up with Ian Baker. And here comes the 97 of Trevor Earhart. He looks down low. Not going to make it work just yet as the 84 carrying that speed up high. He's going to try and get to the outside this time. Gets squeezed up by the wall. And now they're 3 wide in 1 and 2 as the 88 clears the 94. And the 97 drops down to the low line. The 94 trying to squeeze that 84 up into the wall, and he did brush it. Here comes the 12 of Jake Johnson to the inside now to get into this battle. The 88's driven away. Now the 97 looks like he's going to make a pass and move into the 4th position. So Earhart up to 4th. He started in 10th, making good progress early on in this. Cademan Moore right there behind him. He's up 3 spots as he solidifies that 5th position. And Jake Johnson up into 6th from 12th. Big movers already in this event as we are 3 wide behind these guys. That's the 22. Nathan Morris now going up to the high side alongside Dennis Steele. And behind them, Parker Johnston, the number 48 machine. The 29 of Jake Williams there behind him. David Buell, Matt James battling it out side by side as well. And I believe they do have 1 quick repair in this series. So drivers who you've seen crash already going to have another shot at getting out there and getting a win. As Alan Bargenquist, we saw him get heavily involved. That 21 car also got involved in an incident. He's got a clean race car now. So the fast repair coming into play for many of these drivers who have already been wrecked out, as the 74, he is flying around here, currently about 0.2 faster than anyone else on the racetrack. We'll see if he can keep it up. He's got that clean air, such an advantage at a track like Kentucky with these lower banked corners. All the downforce you can get, the better. But the 88 of Ian Baker actually starting to close now. He gets a good run out of turn 2. That gap down to 0.4 of a second. Trevor Earhart holding on to 3rd now. He takes that away from James Loveland, your pole sitter. Jake Johnson moves to 5th. I'm not sure who dropped back, but somebody lost some ground. Maybe. Oh, still up in the top 10. I believe it was Cademan Moore actually got passed up by Jake Johnson. That's what happened there. They swapped positions as Loveland started off fast. He was good at the start of this race and Just 20 laps in, he's already started to fall off just a little bit. The last time by, very quick. So starting to find something once again. The 12 looks to the inside, not going to happen that time out of turn 2. Behind them, it's the 84 of Cademan Moore, Sean Huffstutler. The 94 maybe was saving his stuff there. He dropped back a few positions, now trying to drive back forward, moving into 6th right there. And let's take a look a little farther back. We saw some side-by-side. It's the 51 of Matt James on the outside, carrying a lot of speed up there. And he's going to go right around the 21. Down the backstretch, he is clear. And he'll dive it down in turn 3, continues to ride that middle groove. Actually working a little bit higher out of the corner. That time he's going to lose a bit of momentum, and they're 3 wide behind him. The 21, the 9, and the 27. Actually, Dylan Walterman is the 02 on the scoring pylon, so got to keep that in mind. As he gets really loose in the center of the corner, he'll drive straight on past the 21. And he does have slightly fresher tires than many of the others, as he was caught up in that incident earlier. At the front, though, still all the 74 of Mike Aiello Jr. But Ian Baker starting to close in. That gap now just 0.2 of a second as they work the draft. And Trevor Earhart has joined the battle for the lead. His top 3 broken away by about 3/4 of a second over Jake Johnson, who's moved up to 4th now. So drivers climbing through the field, trying to track down your leader. As they work down the front straightaway, 23 laps down. We work lap number 24 in this race. Let's see if we can get a view of some stuff going on back here. One of our new camera angles. It's the field working through 3 and 4. You can see how spread out, how staggered they are, running all kinds of different race lines. As right now, this is a big battle. The 84 of Cademan Moore right there in front of the 29 of Jake Williams, the 48 of Parker Johnston, and the 02 of Dylan Walterman. Side by side, here comes Walterman looking to the middle. He'll drive right around the outside. Using those fresh tires to his advantage, he'll move up and passes up Cademan Moore. He'll move to the 8th position now, as we've got that battle still behind them. Kevin Orlando Jr. going to pull out in front of David Buell and Matt James. Still trying to keep an eye on the lead up here. It's a 4-car pack now as Jake Johnson is caught up, and here comes Huffstutler, James Loveland. It's going to be a 6-7 car pack here in just a few laps. And you can also see Nathan Morris has climbed up here to the 7th position. He started in 11th, and that top 7 is driven away. They're about 3 seconds out in front of Dylan Walterman, who's on those fresher tires but has yet to catch up. And currently running a bit slower than your leaders, but faster than everyone behind him. But with some clean air, might be able to put down some quick laps. We'll see what he can do here. That's a top 7 single file, all spread out by just about a 1/10 or so between each car. It's so hard to overcome the aerodynamic deficiency of running behind someone as they work down the back straightaway. Everyone's single file, and you're going to have to find some downforce at some point. 12 looks to the inside, not going to happen just yet. He'll tuck back in line behind the 88 of Baker. Also trying to keep an eye on any battles happening further back. Looks like we do have some of them. The 27 of Kevin Orlando Jr., he's going to the inside now. Cademan Moore, that 84 machine up high. Unable to get the run out of turn 2. He'll tuck back in line as the 17 machine behind them, Alan Bargainquist, he goes to the inside of Dennis Steele, the number 28 car. Brett Sommers right there behind him. All those drivers just inside the top 20. And we still have 21 drivers on the lead lap. Right back there, you can see Christopher Heights, the 21. He's in 21st. Last car on the lead lap, Scott Kerberg. He is 2 laps down after taking the faster pair. And I think he actually had to tow, and that's why he lost so much ground. Now 2 laps down, but in position for the lucky dog if anything was to happen. And battle for the lead starting to emerge. The 97 of Trevor Earhart. He's climbed up through the pack into second. He gets around Ian Baker, who made a move but couldn't make it stick. As they make their way through 3 and 4, the 97 has closed in. Let's see where he came from. 10th position, so up 8 spots here in the first 31 laps. And just lost a tiny bit of ground, about a 10th of a second to your race leader. But closes back in there in turn number 1. Looks really good on this end of the racetrack. He is all over the back bumper. We'll see if he makes a move down the backstretch here. Looks to the outside. This is the first challenge for the lead we've seen since that 74 took over the top spot. And he's going to go to the outside. Here comes the 74 of Aiello Jr. to the pit lane, trying to catch up with him. Thank you for the follow. We'll call you Triple H. That's a long name. 74 of Aiello Jr. He was about to lose the lead, and he brings it down the pit lane here to put some fresh tires on it. Just 33 laps into it, and that gives the lead over to Trevor Earhart. The battle for second starting to heat up as the 94 looked to the inside, but wasn't able to make it happen just yet. And for reference, these guys are running about 2 seconds a lap slower than they would be on fresh tires. So advantage going to go to Aiello as he just finally pulls off the pit lane here. 14.4 second stop. He'll be 1 lap down, the only driver 1 lap down. And he will be running quite a bit quicker than the rest of the field when he gets back up to speed. And when do these guys bring it down to make their way across the start-finish line? 34 laps in the book, so we're over a third of the way there. And halfway is going to be coming up pretty soon. Now the battle for the lead. The 88 looks to the inside. Not going to be able to get the run out of turn 2. Trevor Earhart with the advantage down the backstretch. Here comes the 94 of Huffstutler as he starts to put some pressure on that 88 car. Good run in the center there. You see him get back to the throttle just a bit quicker. Now he's going to look to the inside and challenge for that second spot. And the 88 with a little draft from the 97, able to keep some momentum, but here comes Huffstutler trying to take that position away, running that low line. See if he can keep his foot in it down there. The 88 with the upper groove. Going to get some momentum, but still side by side down the backstretch. Huffstutler dives it in deep. Trying to get back to the throttle, but here comes the 88. Going to go right back to the outside. And he'll be able to get a good run. I think he'll clear him here by the start-finish line. Yes, he will. So Huffstutler not able to make the move work, even though he got a great run a couple laps ago. He's going to try and set him up once again. Drifts up in the center of the corner, trying to get the run on exit. And now Ian Baker with the big run to the back bumper of Earhart. And that's your top 6 under a blanket. Jake Johnson back here in that 12 car. He's the last of those drivers. We take a look from the overhead blimp cam. Here comes the 94 of Huffstutler to the outside, down the back straightaway. And also the 56 of Loveland goes to the inside of the 22. Wow, big run by the 94 to the outside. Can he make it stick up there, or is he going to lose all that ground? Not able to get a run on the leader, but he will take over second. So good job there by Huffstutler to work that outside line. Now Ian Baker falling into the clutches of Nathan Morris, who started to climb forward as well. 88 stuck in that low line. 22 is going to use the outside. He'll clear him down the backstretch. And also the 56 of Loveland and the 12 going to go around. I think Ian probably seeing the disadvantage of running down there. Here goes the 94 trying to make a move down on the low line. Not going to happen as Earhart hangs on to it. Let's take a look a little farther back. Dylan Walterman has closed the gap significantly. And he's gotten around Jake Williams, that 29 car, who's fallen off the lead pack. Kevin Orlando Jr. and Douglas Wolcott going to ride 9th and 10th. David Buell, 11th. He leads Cademan Moore and the 74 machine of Aiello. He's out in front of these guys on those fresh Goodyear Eagles as Earhart still leading, but heavy pressure from that 94 of Huffstutler. Thank you, Fire 8022, for the follow. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy the broadcast. Is 40 laps down, 60 to go. As the 14 machine, he's slow up there on the outside. He is already 2 laps down, in danger of losing another one. The 97 trying to pull a little bit of draft off of him. Goes really wide through the tri-oval. And Huffstutler tries to get the nose down there in clean air. 97 jumps down in that line, and that is going to shake things up behind him. Going to separate these cars just a little bit. And when did they come down the pit lane? I'm very surprised. I think Aiello is pulling a two pit strategy, pitting at lap 33, but he is yet to get back on the lead lap. And here comes Cademan Moore. He comes down the pit lane, and Kevin Orlando Jr. also on the pit lane. So a few drivers making their stops here around lap 42. They will go a lap down as well. And this battle for the lead won't quit. The 94 unable to close up right now. The gap about 2 car lengths. And now Nathan Morris in third. He's about 6 car lengths back in that third position. Keep an eye on this 74 though as he starts climbing through the field. He's almost to the lead pack and running about 1.5 seconds or almost 2 seconds faster than some of these other drivers. And that's the speed difference right there. You could see how fast he was catching up to Dylan Walterman. And not sure if the strategy is going to work out for him. He's going to have to go a long ways. But look at all the time he has made up. It is at least 1 second a lap. So I think when things cycle out, he could be nearly a lap ahead of the rest of the field. And Sean Huffstutler all over the back bumper of the 97, still not able to make the move. But he is putting pressure all over that 97. And Earhart surely feeling that. The 22 of Morris back here in third, he's not able to close, actually losing some time to those top 2. As here comes the 74 of Aiello. Finds himself in 18th, first car 1 lap down, about to unlap himself here, probably 2 laps. And he will be back on that lead lap. Look at the speed right there. Just drive straight on past third place. He'll get a run towards the top 2 and see if he can get back on the lead lap the hard way. Cademan Moore also 1 lap down. Kevin Orlando Jr. 1 lap down. Last of the drivers on the lead lap, that is Parker Johnston, that 48 car. He smacked the outside wall. And that car is hurt. Currently 16.4 seconds back and running about 1 second off your leader. As Justin Stunard brings it down, the 33, he's caught the wall as well. Christopher Heights brings it in, that 21 machine. A little deep in the box, but it's still going to work out for him as 74 has gotten back on the lead lap, and that's changed this lead battle. Here's the 94 of Huffstutler, literally on the bumper down the backstretch. As we are approaching halfway, they see that 74 car who led the majority of the beginning of this race. Get back on the lead lap. That's got to be a scary thought. When do they come down and pit? But right now, looking like it's going to be a one-stop strategy from these guys and a two-stop strategy from Aiello, unless he can go the rest of the way. I'm not exactly sure. As next time by, it will be the halfway mark. The 97 has jumped back out to about 2/10, and here comes the 51. Matt James, who just pitted a few laps ago, he's trying to get one of his 2 laps back. A long pit stop, 16.8 seconds. And he and the 21 both have pitted. They're trying to get back on the lead lap at the same time, and this could throw a wrench in the leader's plans. We'll see where they go. The 51 goes to the outside. 21 going to follow him through as the leaders going to be bringing it in this time. Here comes Earhart and Hustutler. That's going to hand the lead off to Nathan Morris. James Loveland rides second. Looks like Dylan Walterman also going to stay out, but almost everyone else pitting. Wolkett stays out. Dennis Steele going to remain on the racetrack as well with Alan Bargain Class. Those two remaining out there. Brett Sommer's going to stay on the track as well. And I'm sure all of these guys hoping for a caution to come out and change things up. Here comes Morris. Oh, as he slides onto the pit lane, hits the commitment cone, the inner cone. Hangs onto it without contact in the wall. James Loveland also bringing it down. He's got right rear damage on that 56 car. I think maybe just happened right here. Nope. And what a good job by the 22 to stay off the wall, but going to lose a bit of time there. As Dylan Walterman takes over the top spot now. Douglas Wolkett in second, Dennis Steele third, Alan Bargainquast fourth, and Brett Sommers in fifth. That is everyone who is yet to pit as Mike Aiello Jr. takes over the top spot. Back on the lead lap here, closing in on Bargainquast, now about 10 seconds behind him, running about a second a lap faster. So he'll get there to fifth position in between 8 to 10 laps, I would expect. And Trevor Earhart wins the battle off pit road between himself and Hustutler. You can see the margin right there as they make their way past Cademan Moore, who pitted about 10 laps ago. That 14 car still riding up by the wall. He is going to remain on the racetrack, as yet to pit, but trying to earn a lap back through the cycle if he can. When you see those cars blowing past you, no, it can't be a great call necessarily unless something happens right now. As Dylan Walterman brings it down, that'll hand the lead off to Douglas Wolkett, the number 9 car. And 2 prior leaders, Trevor Earhart, Sean Hustutler, about to get back on the lead lap themselves. That'll be for 7th, 8th positions right there where they're racing. And only 6 cars on the lead lap as the 9 going to go to the high side. They'll drive right by on the inside. Get back on the lead lap, and they'll bring the 88 of Ian Baker with them. 88, a good pit exchange, a bit faster on the pit stop for that race car. As Dennis Steele brings it down finally, along with, looks like basically the rest of the leaders. Douglas Wolkett, the only one to remain out there. He started up there in the 4th position, now led a couple laps. And an 18.5 second gap back to Mike Aiello Jr. So he's hoping for something to happen here, I think. But everybody fairly spread out, and it is not looking likely. Let's take a look here. Mike Aiello Jr., he rides second, 18.4 seconds back, and the lap time starting to get closer, about 8 tenths faster than your leader, and that time by only a half second faster. And for reference, he's got about 10 seconds on 3rd place Trevor Earhart. But these guys running a second and a half a lap faster than he is, so they will get there right about the time that I think Mike Aiello was planning to pit for the second time. But that's going to be a pretty good battle. And Kevin Orlando Jr., he pitted a little bit longer ago, so he's going to start fading here compared to those guys. So they drive right away, but nose to tail. Earhart, Huffstutler, and Ian Baker. And this could potentially be the battle for the win as Mike Aiello Jr. takes over the top spot. It looks like Wolkett brings it down the pit lane, just leaving pit road. We'll see how he cycles out here. As your leader is actually the next car behind him, so he'll stay on the lead lap just barely. But Mike Aiello Jr. not too far in the distance behind him. And we're past halfway now. If you haven't already cheered on your favorite drivers, please do so. Also consider following or subscribing if you're enjoying the broadcast. I want to thank those who have followed over the last couple of days in the announcement of this league. As we're up now to 377 followers, trying to get to our goal of 500 here by the end of the year. And we'll be doing a giveaway when we get to that number, as well as 200 on our Twitter. You can check us out at VSpeedSim on Twitter if you want to be eligible for that giveaway. Got to be following here and on Twitter. As lap number 60 comes to completion, lap 61 goes up on the board, and Mike Aiello Jr. Only a 5-second margin now to second place, and these guys closing rapidly. That lead is surely going to disappear within a couple of laps. Now 4.3 seconds as they make their way into turn number 3. And such a great run from all of these drivers, playing the strategy, from what I can tell, perfectly. Pitting just past halfway. As now the 94 of Huffstutler goes to the inside. Trevor Earhart just going to give it to him. And Ian Baker now closes in. He'll challenge for third. Not sure why the 97 did that. Maybe just slipped up. But that 94 car, he's been strong all race long and was fighting for the lead before the pit cycle. Now he'll have first shot at Aiello for the lead. As the gap now under 3 seconds as they make their way through 1 and 2. And a third of the race remaining. Looks like these guys all in the catbird seat. You see the number 28 of Dennis Steele right there behind him. He's on slightly fresher tires. But first car 1 lap down. Parker Johnson just up the road, that 48 car. He's got that right side damage and still not quite up to pace, but running faster than your leader, so he's going to stay on the lead lap for the moment. But when these cars on fresher tires get up there, he's going to have some trouble staying in front of them. And now Huffstutler cuts the lead down to 1.4 seconds across the start-finish line. It's 1.3 seconds. And continuing to close, this 4-car pack absolutely flying. About a second a lap faster, and now he's right within striking distance, actually in drafting range of the 74, and the lap time's only going to increase at that point. And Aiello, does he bring it back down the pit lane? What's the call here? As obviously the strategy not working out. And I can only imagine he's probably a little bit confused on what to do. No cautions have flown while he was out in front. Maybe hoping for one now. I think he's just going to bring it to the pit lane here. Nope, just drops down low. And Huffstutler going to drive right around, but he gets loose on the outside. Here comes the 97. with a big run. He'll take over second now. Aiello back to third, and just going to have to try and hang on, but on much older tires, I don't think it's even going to be possible, as the top three drive right on past. Dennis Steele with them. And it has been a nice long green flag run, but to recap, we had 2 cautions in the first 10 laps, and now 7 lead changes through this pit cycle, and Sean Huffstutler takes over the top spot as the cycle completes. We never looked at the weather tonight. It is pretty cool here in Kentucky, so the driver's not struggling for grip. We have seen some moments where they've gotten a bit loose, but that's probably more to do with the racetrack itself than the weather. As Huffstutler pulling a bit of a gap now into Earhart, and is the 97 saving some stuff here? Or does he just not quite have it on the short run to be able to keep up with that 94? The 28 car right there in the mix as well. Or the 88 rather is in the mix. That's Ian Baker. He's just 7/10 back from your leader. And then the car you're seeing right there, Dennis Steele, he's just 1 lap down. Actually gets back on the lead lap now as the 94 gives him the spot. And Kevin Orlando Jr. bringing it back down the pit lane. Cademan Moore also on pit lane. So they're doing the 2 pit stop strategy. And I am not sure that's going to work out. As Cademan Moore gets going, they're going to fall 1 lap down. Maybe those guys saw the way the race was going, saw that there were 2 cautions early, and they thought it was going to be like that the rest of the way, but it has been the exact opposite green flag since about lap 12, I think. As Cademan Moore gets back on the racetrack, that's actually going to be 2 laps down for the 84 machine. 21st position. There's a lot of ground to make up. The 97 now going to take it 3 wide next to the 48 of Parker Johnston. And your leader, Sean Huffstutler, the battle for the lead down the front stretch. And they'll go side by side into turn 1. The 97 carrying tons of speed on the outside. He'll get right on past. Here comes the 84 of Cademan Moore. Going to give him a push down the backstretch, and he'll dive to the inside now. Get back one of his 2 laps. And the 88 machine closes into this battle as they race side by side. The 97 lost some ground in 3 and 4. As another car on the pit lane, that is Matt Janes. A little bit of right side damage. He brings it in here. And he will lose a lap as well in the process. But your top 3 way out in front. James Loveland in 4th. He is currently 2.6 seconds back. And Mike Aiello Jr., he's in that 5th position. After the early pit stop call, he is just losing time at this point. A few tenths a lap, and that margin, 3.5 seconds to the front, is going to continue to grow here. And probably hoping for some kind of a yellow, but we've got a battle a bit farther back. Walterman and Morris, 6th and 7th, they're starting to get close together here, as Jake Williams not far behind as well. Jake Johnson in the 12 machine, he's closed back into this battle as well. And at 10th place, David Buell, he's got a little bit of a margin to make up, but still up here in the top 10. Good race for David. Started in 18th. Now up to 9th as Aiello comes down the pit lane. He'll give up that top 5 position. Put some more fuel and some fresh Goodyear Eagles on there, and probably going to lose at least a lap. So he gets into his box nicely. Aiello, a very interesting strategy here, and he's going to need some things to play out over the next 10 or 15 laps as he goes 1 lap down, and about another half lap just rolling off the pit lane now. So the leaders making their way. Looks like, yeah, he is at least a half lap down in that number 74, or 1.5 laps down. As Huffstutler hanging on to the lead now. It's the 94 and the 97. They've been up here battling. That 88's been that straggler in third. And not much time left in this race, so somebody's going to have to start making some moves. Here comes Loveland closing the gap now. So Loveland, let's see what it looks like from the inside, or the nose cam on that race car. Use your pole sitter, don't forget. And he's closed that margin down from over 2.5 seconds now down to 1.8. And continuing to close as those top three work their way around Dennis Steele. Steele tags the wall just a little bit. And he continues to close the margin here, this number 56. But your leaders, 1, 2, 3, nose to tail, as the 88 actually losing some time trying to get around Steele. And making their way out of turn number 2. The 97 looks low, not going to make it work. And the 94 of Huffstutler showing some strength here in these last few laps. Able to hold off the 97, who's tried a couple different things. And they've both pulled away from Ian Baker. We'll see if that 88 can close back in. And James Loveland, he is really flying, fastest car on the track on this strategy. As he closes the margin now down to about 1.2 seconds. He'll drop in behind Dennis Steele and pull a little draft down the front stretch. Now going to get some draft from the 88 machine. 56 goes on by. Dennis Steele hanging out up there on the high side, just 1 lap down. Dennis in the 13th position, so only 12 cars on the lead lap. Brett Sommers lasted the drivers on the lead lap. And Mike Aiello Jr. update, he is in 15th after pitting there, starting to close in on the next couple of race cars a lap down, but right now, third car 1 lap down, so not in position for the lucky dog. But the 97 making some moves, looking to the inside of the 94. Earhart hanging on to it. The battle for third is going to start to heat up here as Loveland closing in on Ian Baker. That 88 car starting to fall off just a bit. He was about a 0.5 tenth slower last time by. And then those other three around him. Last time there, James Loveland, 2.5 tenths faster than your leaders. So some serious speed as the top 4 now, all within a second. And then it's about 7 seconds back to Dylan Walterman in the 5th position. As here comes Loveland. Big run out of turn 4. He's going to go right to the inside of Ian Baker. Set his sights on the top 2 if he can go past him here into turn 1. But the battle for the lead is on as they go side by side. That's going to help the 56. And the 94 going to pinch the 97 down. Laps clicking off here. Just going to be 16 to go next time by. As they race it up side by side. Here comes Loveland. Now the gap 7 tenths of a second. Ian Baker right there behind him. And what a race this has been. A very, very strong race by multiple drivers to run this many laps under green. And we've got 4 drivers in contention to win this thing this late in the going. That is quite a statement for their talent to play this strategy the right way. And the 56 closing in yet again, now 7 tenths back. It's going to be harder to close now. The 81 machine goes to the inside. He's on fresh Goodyear Eagles. And that is Nick Alves, who rides in 19th, 2 laps down, but trying to get one of those back here after pitting just just about 10 laps ago. And that nose damage definitely hurting that speed, but the fresh tires more than make up for it at this point in the run. As the 97 takes a really wide entry, he's going to cut down here and try and get a nice run out of the corner. Ian Baker nearly tagging the wall there. He's fallen off these top 3 now, 1.2 seconds back for the 88. So he'll need something to happen among the top 3 to get back up there. As here comes Loveland, big gain down the front stretch. He is all over the back bumper now of Trevor Earhart. As we've got lap cars coming out of pit lane, that is the 12 machine of Jake Johnson, who rides 19th now, 2 laps down, but he's getting back up to speed, and Sean Huffstutler loves what he's seeing with these cars getting in the mix, but eventually he knows he's going to have to get out of the way for them. So things could equalize as 81 up high, the 12 down low. The 12's going to go right on past, it looks like. He'll try to get one of his 2 laps back now, goes to the inside of your leader. And this is crazy. We got 3 lap cars, 3 leaders all in a gaggle here. Coming to 11 laps to go. Looks like the 56 lost some momentum, but the 94 nearly tags the wall. Huffstutler going to get checked up big time. And there goes the 97 to the inside, now 3 wide. Huffstutler loses the lead. What happened there? Huffstutler was on the outside of the 12, just went to the high line, didn't stick up there, and he lost so much ground now trying to fight back for it using that same high groove. He'll get a big run out of turn 4, 10 laps to go at the line, and it's side by side for the lead. The 97 of Trevor Earhart and the 94 of Sean Huffstutler, and then the 56 of James Loveland right there in their wake, waiting for something to happen, or waiting to make something happen. As we've got a car, it looked like maybe just a connection problem from the 81. Thought he might have blown up. So here comes Aiello trying to get back on the lead lap. He goes 3 wide with the 56 of Loveland. Aiello riding 12th, first car 1 lap down. Trying to at least get a lead lap finish out of this race, which started so promising for him. And the strategy just not the right call tonight. As now he goes to the inside of the 94, carrying a lot of speed down there. Fresh tires going to make a huge difference. He'll go to the inside of your race leader now, down the front stretch. And he'll sell it in on the outside here. Try and cut down and get that run on exit. He'll get to the inside now of the 97. And he'll get back on the lead lap here in this corner. So Earhart hangs on to the top spot, but change for a second. James Loveland's able to get around Huffstutler. So that 94 car dropping backwards now. This is not where he needs to be to win this race. As Earhart pulling away now, the margin almost a half second to Loveland, and laps winding down. And only 12 drivers on the lead lap. Aiello just getting his back. That's for 12th. He's got about 5.5 seconds to catch up to Brett Sommers, and then about another 5 seconds, or actually about another 1.5 seconds to get to Alan Bargainquest for the 10th position. And it's going to be a tall order to do that, but could be possible. He's running about 1 second a lap faster, so he could get right to the back bumper, at least right around the end of this thing, as It'll be 5 to go this time by. Earhart leading. And James Loveland starting to reel him back in. That margin now 0.4 of a second down the front straightaway. And that 56, he's been so good in turns 3 and 4. Can he make it work on that end of the racetrack once again? Not a great run out of turn 2. But maintains the margin under 0.4. And a big wide arc into the corner. He actually tagged the wall just a bit, I think. Loses some ground on that end of the racetrack. So where he was strong on his march towards the front, it's not working out for him right now. Trying to really sail it in wide and not going to help him out too much if he keeps catching the wall. And Earhart pulling a little bit of draft from those lap cars in front of him. And the top two here separated now by 0.4 of a second. Loveland doesn't seem like he's got it, and Huffstetler's fallen 1.7 seconds back, so the tires really falling off there for the 94s. Ian Baker is starting to close back in to try and get on the podium. Trevor Earhart, he started 10th. He's led 30 laps here tonight. It'll be 2 to go next time by. Across the start-finish line, 2 laps to go, and he is starting to gap the 56 now, 5.5 tenths in front of him, and only has 6 more corners to go in this race. And that margin now up over 6 tenths. James Loveland doesn't have it here in the last few laps, and I think it's all over unless we get a yellow flag in the next 2 or 3 seconds. Earhart crossed the line, white flag in the air. The Underdog Racing League from Kentucky. The Ware Bourbon is 150. Trevor Earhart through turns 1 and 2, headed towards the backstretch. He's got a large gap now, almost a second over Loveland. And unless he runs out of fuel or blows a tire, it is his race to lose. The 97 of Trevor Earhart climbing from 10th position. Earhart is going to win at Kentucky. And the Ware is Bourbon 150. Congratulations to Trevor. What a race. What a strategy call as he celebrates by waving to the fans. Actually waving to the billboards as he rides along the outside wall. So big win there. Trevor Earhart, he leads 33 laps after coming from the 10th position. Great job by Trevor to manage the tires and hold everybody off, making the move late in the race to get around Huffstetler, who comes home third, just a little ways in front of Ian Baker. And Mike Aiello Jr. unable to get up into the top 10. He'll come home 12th after the double pit call. What a great race. Just 2 cautions in this thing, and Underdog Racing League put on a show here in the opener on V-Speed. As Earhart burns it down, we're going to go to commercial break, and we will be right back with your top 3 interviews.
I'm Jonathan Proper, CEO of Jobs.com, and I'm here to give you the naked truth about laundry. Size does not matter when it comes to laundry. Let's start with Jugs. It's big all right, messy too, and expensive. You know why? Lots of plastic, lots of water, shipped all over the country, from factory to warehouse to retailer. That's what you're paying for. It's a dinosaur, and we all know dinosaurs are extinct. Meet our imitators. This is your average detergent pod. It has 20 plus chemicals with names nobody can pronounce. Nice colors. I hope they don't stain. I know color doesn't clean. Would you take a bath in either of these? No way. That's why we developed Drops. Drops is dye-free, MPE-free, phosphate-free, animal cruelty-free. So free, it's freaking awesome. We make Drops with only 6 safe ingredients, certified by the EPA. Drops is tough on dirt, but gentle enough for baby skin. It's so gentle, I'm taking a bath in it. Doing laundry with drops is hard to up. One drop equals one load. Now, can we talk about my package? 100% recyclable. Manufacturing drops ourselves and distributing directly helps us cut out the middleman and reduce transportation costs. With delivery plans as low as $4 a month, the average family can save $100 a year. Hello? What are you saying? The cleanest clothes at the lowest price? You're damn right it's a great deal. Thanks for calling. Shipping is always free. You choose the product and plan that's right for you, and we'll drop drops at your door. The naked truth is that Drops makes laundry better and life easier. Every Drops counts, saving money, plastic, water, and time. So go to drops.com. The first one's on us.
Introducing the Brawl Network. The Brawl Network brings your favorite team's news and opinions in an unfiltered, educated, and entertaining way. Enough of the mainstream media's bias, filtered, reiterative news. Our reporters are fans of the teams they cover, as opposed to most major reporters. While some may feel it is good to get unbiased takes, it results in negative bias, passionless articles, and boring podcasts and radio. The Brawl Network changes the game by reporting the same news as the mainstream media, but with passion, in-depth knowledge of the teams, and in an entertaining way. We use our connections to bring you behind-the-scenes information and perspectives daily. Brawl is a way of life here. For our listeners and contributors, we hear all opinions, voices, ideas, thoughts, and hot takes. The Brawl Network is where your voice is heard, and you can hear your voice. Also check out NASCAR Brawl, the newest Brawl podcast focusing on all the newest NASCAR and motorsports news from across the industry. We're proud to bring you the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series sponsored by this podcast and partnered with V-Speed. Watch weekly on Wednesdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Twitch at VSpeedSyn. Check out the Brawl Network at thebrawlnetwork.com and on Twitter at Network Brawl, and the NASCAR Brawl podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify with new episodes coming soon.
All right, and we are back with our race winner, Mr. Trevor Earhart, driver of the number 97. Trevor, you got a copy?
I do. How's it going?
Pretty good. You put on a great show for us here tonight, Trevor. You drive from 10th position, and you had a crazy battle up there with the 94 of Huffstetler. And, what did you do differently there to be able to hang on to this thing and drive away at the end?
I'm not sure I did a lot different than Sean. I know he was driving in a little deeper into 3 and 4 than I was, so I don't know if that caused me to save a little bit more tire than he did. But man, we had a great battle there for, I think that was about 10, 15 laps with in and out of the lap traffic. So great driving on his part too, but it just came down to saving a little bit more tire than those guys. I was a little bit worried when I saw Loveland was catching us there from third, but able to hold off his charge and bring that number 97 Chevrolet home with a win.
Yes, sir. We saw a 56 close in. He gave you a scare a couple times, and it was a crazy battle. You had 4 cars up there within, a second within 15 laps at the end of this race. So, the pit strategy was a big factor here. We saw drivers pit a couple times, and that didn't work out. Did you decide to just do the one pit stop, as soon as you knew you could make it, or what was the call there?
Yeah, so the plan was just to split it in half, especially after those 2 early cautions. I've been running with these guys now for 3 seasons, so we either tend to have a couple of early cautions or a couple of late cautions. So I took the gamble with us having a few early cautions that we would go green to the end, and so my plan was just to split it up halfway, and it worked out for us.
Yeah, it worked out for sure, and you had speed in the first part of the race, and definitely had it there in the closing laps, able to pull away and capture the victory here tonight. We go to Michigan next week. So what are your thoughts on going out there?
A miniature Talladega. It'll be interesting. Draft is a key thing there. Keeping the car clean and track position's also going to be key there. So have have a little bit of hope that we'll run well there, but anything can happen there, especially with the draft being as big of a factor as it is.
Yes, sir. Definitely a completely different style of racing. We'll see what you can do there. But capturing the victory tonight on the first broadcast here on V Speed. So congrats on that. Leading 33 laps, coming from 10th position. Great race tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go celebrate?
Just shout out to my real estate company, the Earhart Group, here in Oklahoma. Big shout out to them. They help keep the bills paid. And just shout out to some friends and family who I know were watching this, and we appreciate you stepping in to broadcast for us here at the end of the season, and just a big thank you to you as well.
Well, thank you, sir. You put on a great show for us tonight, so hopefully everybody out there enjoyed, but go celebrate, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was Trevor Earhart, your race winner tonight. We're going to see if we can pull up second place, Mr. James Loveland, the 56, who put on a great show for us as well. Let's see if we can grab him. I do not know if I can pull him up. See if he jumps in here now. I don't think I can. Still trying to get a couple things figured out here. Got to adjust to new Discords each time. I don't think I can pull him in though. But give me just a moment. We'll see if we can jump down there with them actually. Oh, looks like he is here. James Loveland, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I thought I could pull you back up in here. I guess I can't. We're going to have to figure that out. But James, you put on a great show for us here tonight. You started first. You were like 2.5 seconds back, I guess, with 20, 30 laps to go, and you closed in to be right there at the end. What did you do on that last run that was able to save the tires and get up there and fight for this thing?
Yeah, hit pit road, and the 22 spun out right in front of me on pit road. I had to check up, and I think that cost me a lot of time. But I just went out and I pushed it a little harder than I wanted to. I was trying to save tires, but I was also trying to catch up to the lead group, and I know they were battling each other. But just not enough. I kind of burned it out at the end, but still a great race.
Yeah, this track definitely one of the harder ones to keep the tires on it, and finding clean air. How important was that tonight to try and get the nose in clean air and get out from behind guys to try and make time?
Yeah, it was definitely important. I was riding behind a few people and my car got tight, so I tried different lines. I went on the inside and the outside, and it seemed to help me gain a little momentum.
Yeah, we saw you make up a lot of time. You made a pass, I think it was on the 88 at one point. You sailed it in on the outside and it just looked like it stuck, and you just drove right on past a few of those guys. So that was very impressive to see that, you had the same tires, only 1 lap fresher, and you were able to just, drive on past the 88 and others. So definitely a great run by you here tonight, obviously with the pole, and then coming home second. We go to Michigan next week, so what are your thoughts on that race?
Yeah, I kind of expect the same, a lot of close racing, probably pack racing kind of style. We'll see. I haven't run a cup car at Michigan yet, so that'll be interesting. But, I didn't at Kentucky either, and I finished second tonight. So hopefully I have high expectations next week as well.
Yes, sir. We'll see if you can back up a second place run, but a great performance here tonight. You were up there in the top 5 basically the entire race, so almost came home with it, but just 1 spot short. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for the P2 run here tonight?
Yeah, definitely a sponsor of my car, E-Man. They're a huge support with us in real racing and whatnot. And also to Custom Paints and Diecast. They didn't make this scheme on my car, but they made a few schemes on my truck and modified, and they're fantastic looking. So definitely go check them out.
Awesome, James. Well, congrats again on P2, and we will catch you next week at Michigan.
Thank you.
All right, so that was second place finisher, Mr. James Loveland. And we're going to bring up third place finisher, Sean Huffstutler. See if we can find him down there. All right, we'll see if they bring him up for us. All right, there he is, Sean Huffstutler. This is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. How you doing?
I'm not doing too bad, and you must be doing pretty good. You had a great performance here tonight. You started third, you come home third, but you were in, with a shot to win this thing with about 10 laps to go. You led 20 laps here. What happened in those last few laps that made the car fall off?
Yeah, I kind of got out of my rhythm. There was a lot of lap cars around us with fresh tires, and if you get out of your rhythm around James or Trevor, they'll take advantage of it, and that's exactly what they did. Two really good drivers, and just couldn't get back in rhythm in time. The time was running out on me, so they pulled away.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. We saw the three of you, and then Ian was up there for a little bit as well, battling for that lead, and then 4, 5, 6 lap cars, varied tire strategies going all different lines. Definitely tough to keep a constant pace through all of that. But, you had a great battle there with Trevor for lap after lap after lap a couple times in this race. We saw it before the pit stops, and then we saw it right here towards the end. How much fun was it out there trying to figure out a way around these guys?
Oh, it was a blast, racing with Trevor. He's going to race you clean and race you hard. And, I hate seeing him behind me because I know if you make a mistake, he's going to take advantage of it. So you just try to run the best line you can. But no, it was a blast running up front, battling with him most of the race.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun to watch. You put on a great show for us here tonight, coming home P3. Some pretty good momentum headed to Michigan next week. What are your thoughts on going out there?
I like Michigan. It's one of my favorite tracks, so hopefully the results are going to be good. You never can tell, though. There's always a bunch of guys here at any week. Somebody can win. So you just try to race without making any mistakes and take advantage of anybody else's mistakes, and that's all you can do.
Yes, sir. And you took advantage of the long green flag run, put on a great performance very fast throughout the night. Come home a solid third place finish here. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go finish or go celebrate?
Well, just like to welcome V-Speed aboard. We appreciate you coming aboard. So yeah, definitely excited about this. And of course the admin and the league, all the work they do to put this on and let us come and have fun for a while. So appreciate everything everybody does.
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking some time here after the race, and go celebrate that P3. We'll catch up with you at Michigan.
Yep. You have a good night.
Thank you. You too. And so that was your third place finisher, Sean Huffstutler. But your winner here tonight, Trevor Earhart, as you see him burning it down once again there on the screen. He comes home your winner. I want to thank Alex Bowman fan and Brosatalk for the follows. Thank you guys for tuning in here in the closing moments of tonight's race. And we are going to go through the full results here and see where your favorite drivers came home. 2 cautions tonight, 10 lead changes, and some exciting battles for that top spot. Trevor Earhart wins the battle, and he comes home your winner here tonight. Great race by the 97. He holds off James Loveland, who finishes second. Sean Huffstutler finishes third. Fourth place was Ian Baker. A good race from him as well, up there in the mix all night long after starting in 16th. And Dylan Walterman, a nice solid top 5 here as well. Nathan Morris comes home 6th. Jake Williams finishes 7th. Douglas Wolkett, who led a few laps in this race, he comes home 8th. David Buell finishes 9th. And Alan Bargenquast comes home with a top 10. In 11th place, it was Brett Sommers. Good run from him. Mike Aiello Jr. unable to get back up into the top 10, but a strong 12th place finish and definitely showed a lot of speed here tonight. 13th was Dennis Steele, first car 1 lap down. 14th was Kevin Orlando Jr., 15th Justin Stunard, 16th Jake Johnson, 17th Cademan Moore, 18th Parker Johnston, 19th Nick Alves, and rounding out the top 20 was Matt James, the number 51 machine. In 21st, it was Christopher Heitz, and 22nd lasted the drivers to start was Scott Kerberg. He finds himself 4 laps down after having a tow early in this race, unable to recover from that. And Brad Allison did not take to the field here tonight, so he will be scored in 23rd. Trevor Earhart, your winner here tonight in the opener on V-Speed, but race number 7 for these guys this season, and excited to be bringing more of this action weekly on Wednesdays right here on V-Speed, 8:35 p.m. You won't want to miss next week's race at Michigan, but also you won't want to miss tomorrow's race at the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. It's going to be at Daytona. So we've seen some crazy moments at the super speedways in that series, and looking forward to maybe having a couple more. But I want to thank everyone who tuned in here tonight, and join us again tomorrow night, 8:25 p.m. And then we'll be back here 2 nights a week for the next few weeks, and bringing you as much racing action as we can. Find us over on Facebook.com/VSpeedSim, where you can stay notified of each and every broadcast as we go live. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter, VSpeedSim on both of those platforms. We post announcements to the Twitter page and occasionally to the Instagram as well, but you can find some great racing and automotive content over on those. And also find us on YouTube, where you can check out the race replays from previous weeks, previous series, and also some real-world racing content as well. And if you're interested in any type of any of our services, whether broadcasting, custom design, and much more, check us out at vspeedsim.com and contact us over there. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. We're going to jump in with some fellow broadcaster, or a fellow iRacing streamer here tonight, Justin Botello. We'll jump in with him and go enjoy his content. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night.